Well, greetings, everyone, and once again, welcome to another episode of To an Imperfect Union, brought to you by the political consciousness of West Coast Steeler fan. As usual, we have the GOP to thank for our discussions tonight. We may slightly touch on the shootings in Texas, but I am a little more concerned about our upcoming 2024 presidential election. And I'll get into the reasons why and about that as we go on. I'd also briefly like to talk about Uncle Thomas, Supreme Court Justice, and how the conservatives are rallying around his seemingly, for anyone else, financial improprieties. I talked a little bit last week about Larry Elder and Tim Scott more or less declaring themselves for our next presidential election. Another subject that I would like to touch on briefly is the contrast in stories between the firings of Don Lemon and Tucker Carlson. There were two opposing views that I chose to use for the topic of my discussion. And one was concerning DL Hughley's explanation about Don Lemon and Tucker Carlson. And Jason Whitlock's take on the firing of Tucker Carlson. So those are some of the things that we are going to talk about tonight. And I am hoping that some of my colleagues will be able to join me at some point. Those of you that did not get a chance, please check out our Thursday podcast. It's called Diamonds Among the Darkness, and it deals with a couple of groups here in San Diego that are helping to clean up San Diego, be somewhat of a transition between the homeless communities and some of our other communities. Excuse me. Some of the homeless community and some of the municipal communities around town, as well as talking about some of the opportunities available to our youth, including the Monarch School, which I intend to find out a lot more about because this is a school for homeless children. So I am definitely looking forward to I'm definitely looking forward to learning more about that school and hopefully bringing some of its staff or faculty here on our program. So with that, let's start with another bank being rescued today. As of now, if you were a member of First Republic Bank, that is now J.P. Morgan Chase Bank, I believe, and they have taken over the however many branches that there are nationwide. This is the second bank that we have seen go under within the last 60 days. And both are very heavily invested in by a lot of technological type of stock. And we used to, like scoff at people that said, I don't trust banks, and that we are better off keeping our money under the mattress or Granny's coffee can, a coffee jar. And this was the state of mind coming out of a depression in which people had seen banks shut down before and them not being able to get their money out. Well, now, of course, we had the FDIC that insures your deposit up to $100,000, I believe it is. So, in that respect, perhaps things are much safer. But how undermining is it, or do you get that feeling in the pit of your stomach, that when you hear that your bank has been found unsoluble? Now, if you're a heavy investor, I imagine that makes a great deal of difference to the average bank account or someone that is in the middle class or lower middle class, you're glad to hear that the FDIC insures your account up to $100,000, because in most cases it means that your money will be returned safely. If you're a stockholder and you're getting less than 50 cents on the dollar, then you might have another argument, because you have more than enough money to put under the mattress. And you need all the loopholes and everything that is afforded to you as being a part of that particular status. So I've talked a lot about Uncle Thomas and how he has made it a no hose barred commitment to the far right. And if you need any more proof that Brother Thomas, Bro Thomas, Uncle Thomas, I just can't get that. I can't use anything else, is not committed to these ultra conservatives, further investigation shows that the house that his mother resides in is because of a certain political right wing, contributor. And this man has seen to it that his mother lives rent-free, that Thomas is a member of a prestigious hunting club, I believe it is, as well as going on various trips and sailing above on his yacht. Someone that's listening somewhere, could you please, either by email, chat, or whatever, tell me the name of the character that was played by Samuel Jackson in the movie Django. And maybe I can roll that off my tongue as easily as Uncle Thomas. But we have seen Democrats and members of the left, not even the far left, being thrown off committees, being censored for their behavior, for things that are far less trivial than having a political donor pay for your trips, your vacations, your mother's house, among others. Who knows, in the next 10 hours, 10 minutes, with how quickly things can become news, we may hear another story from the Wall Street Journal or any one of several publications. But once again, you knew who Clarence Thomas was and what he was about when you confirmed him. This is, unfortunately, I believe, something that the order has very little say in. And the reason why I put that fact out there is because we do not elect the Supreme Court. What we do elect are the members that ratify the decision on whether or not those people are capable or culpable of serving on the highest court in the land. So once again, it goes back to that election process, but an election process that has long-term effects, not short-term effects. And a lot of times we are so caught up, or we elect the same people, so therefore we get the same results. Everyone knew exactly the move that was being made by 45 and his cohorts when they appointed their 3 Supreme Court justices. And already having Uncle Thomas in place and at least 2 other conservative judges, they turned this into a 6-3 majority of conservatives. Thus, we had the overturning of Roe v. Wade and now a fight over a drug that was proclaimed safe 23 years ago. A drug that I believe they said it has actually produced less deaths than Tylenol. But that's another uh, conversation for another day. um, I want to talk about Ron DeSantis. And I've seen ads from both sides, meaning 45, proclaiming how he made DeSantis, and DeSantis proclaiming how he could possibly be the best choice for the presidency in 2024. And I thought it was bad enough when we had a choice between Biden and Trump. And now you throw a Ron DeSantis in the mix with a Larry Elder and a Tim Scott, um, uh, and a couple other GOP wannabes. And you say to yourself, if we thought there was a choice between the lesser of two evils in our last election, how are we supposed to look at this election? Now, as Republicans are starting to say, a vote for Biden is a vote for Kamala because of, uh, as Kerry said, that she did not believe that Biden would survive a full term as presidency. Therefore, a vote for Biden would be a vote for Kamala because she would serve out the rest of Biden's term. And I cannot say that I am a Kamala fan, having spent the last 19 plus years out here in California. But has anybody provided any viable alternatives? As I said, I was looking forward to a possible Hakeem Jeffries and Cory Booker ticket in 2028. I don't know if 2024 would be a year when they could win it. And if the Democrats do not get back in office in 2024, we will have hell to pay for at least the next 12 years, if not longer. Because that'll give Trump's one more term, and then a possible Republican replacement for the next two. Now, if that's not scary to you, look at what happened during 8 years of Bush and only 4 years of Trump. Now, I also wanted to talk about excuse me. DL Hughley and his comments on Don Lemon and Tucker Carlson's fired. Now, DL says that one, Tucker Carlson was fired for telling lies and expelled when you talk about the stolen election and so forth, the January 6th insurrection. And Don Lemon was fired because he told the truth when he confronted the GOP candidate about the experiences of a black man in America. Now, I have been one to very much talk about what I thought about Don Lemon's role was, and how I thought he portrayed me as a black male in particular. But those things put aside, do you think that DL struck a chord of truth here? Because according to DL, Don Lemon was only telling the truth when he confronted the GOP candidate and told him that he didn't think it was proper for him try to tell Don what his experiences were as a black man in America. And I definitely agree with that. How dare someone of a different race tell me about my experiences as a black man growing up in America? That would be just as ludicrous as some of 45 statements. So, I'm not sure that there is not a lot of truth in what DL is saying. And you do have a lot of activist groups now that are now siding with Don Lemon and asking CNN for a better explanation of why Don was let go. Not that they have to necessarily give it, because CNN is a private organization. So, their hiring and firing practices are not always as a private entity. Their codes of hiring and firing are much different than that of a public entity. But let's go on the other hand here, because, you know, I tend to make jest of people like Larry Elder and Tim Scott, Candace Owens, people like that say that racism does not exist in America. But Jason Whitlock took things to a whole nother level. Jason said that Tucker's firing was actually an attack on God. Yes, you can look it up. It's on the video. There is a video. I sent it to my other panelists. There is a video where Jason Whitlock actually says that Tucker's firing was an attack on God. People, you have to look up this stuff for yourself. You have to look this up and see exactly what's happening. So, I have to. I just got a text. I have to cut the program short this evening. I'm very sorry. If I get a chance, I will come back on in a few, and perhaps we can start the show back on. But right now, I have something that I have to deal with. Thank you so much for your time. Look forward to talking to you again as soon as possible. Make sure you hit the subscribe and like button. Donate our Cash App to Cash JE King 3. And I'll be looking forward to talking to you on To an Imperfect Union, either later on tonight or sometime next week. Have a great day, everyone. See you soon.